Hello Aries friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Aries March 2022 Astrology Must Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That's the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month. I do more than just these monthly videos. And if you forget that address by the time you're done with the video, just click on the little more button with the arrow to the bottom right of the video to reveal the notes and it will have the link. If you are an Aries Sun or Aries Rising like me, or Aries Moon or Aries in Mercury, Venus, Mars, whatever you watch for, what we're going to talk about here will be part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Aries, like April 15th through the rest of the sign, or like 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I always recommend that you additionally listen to my Taurus report because you cuspy people, your chart looks more like a Taurus chart than some of the Aries charts that are used in horoscopes. So you'll benefit from both of those. So very, very, very exciting time in general and an especially exciting time for Aries. I have Aries rising, so every time I do the Aries report, I'm talking to myself also. So I'm very, very excited to report that we have a spree that is starting March, April, May, June, July. We're going to be having planets and beyond because of Jupiter, but we'll have personal planets in Aries for many months. Okay, so March is like a kickoff party. Once the sun gets there, we have the sun, then Mercury, then Venus, then Mars are all going to push through Aries. And because of the way that things are lined up at this time, instead of having a bunch of Aries energy at once, we're going to have a sustained period of time where something is going to be in Aries for a long stretch. So look forward to kisses, motivation, ambition, things working out, forward movement, action, initiative, impetus for a long stretch of time. And I know that that is exciting for you because Aries loves action and we get a little whacked out with all of this retrograde stuff that we've been dealing with. Okay, so that is the next big must know, is that the personal retrogrades are done. Okay, so we had Venus retrograde, which ruled love, beauty, money, design. Could bring in a lot of very good things, but it squared Aries. So although it could have brought in amazing things, there was a lot of pressure that was involved in that energy. And now everything is starting to shift and we're coming into our time. So I'm very happy about that. Now, what I mean by the tides going out is this. When a personal planet, Venus, Mars, Mercury, is retrograde or in their shadow periods, which is the time before or after retrograde, it's a time for going inwards and backwards. It's reflective. You can't really do much planning. It can be busy, but a lot of times it's not the things you're trying to do. It's the things that are happening to you. And Aries likes to self-start and to initiate things. And it's not as easy to do that in the retrograde environment. But as of March 3rd, Venus retrograde shadow period's clear. Have already been out of the Mercury retrograde as of the end of February, and we don't have any of the nonsense starting until the end of April 27th. So this window between March 3rd and April 27th, all my little horsies who have been chomping at the bit to just go do something, anything, everything, this is your time. Very exciting, okay? Now, I will also let you know that we do only have 2 of these big open forward moving windows in the whole year of 2022 because Mars, our ruler, will be retrograde at the end of the year. You don't have to fear this. I've come to love it. I used to hate it. It really stressed me out because I was doing it all wrong, but I know how to do it right, and I will let you know about all of this, so you'll be very well informed. But in September, the Mars retrograde shadow period starts, and the whole rest of the year and into 2023 will be covered in Mars retrograde. So that means we've got the March 3rd through April 27th open period. We've got one more around June 19th through August 21st. So making your big forward moving plans, the things that you want to stay away from the retrograde mishaps, plan those in those times, and there will definitely be more support from the universe for them to manifest in the way that Aries likes. Now, we do also have more sweet than salty aspects this month, which is very exciting. I am going to do a special at the end of this, towards the end of this video, where I'll give you the 8 top aspects of the month. There are 2 yucky ones, but most of them are really good, including the astrological new year, which is very exciting. And of course, that's the sun going into Aries. So we love it. We get kisses from our beautiful sun. Okay, so another big must know is that eclipse season begins in the middle of March. The first eclipse is at the end of April, then there's one in May, and we'll talk about the implications of those where you'll see them show up for you in the April and May report. But for the March report, I just need you to know that you're going to start to feel that eclipse-related feeling. The feeling like things are changing and you may not know what, that butterflies with the hopeful anticipation, or the anxiety of like something's coming and I can't tell what it is and I'm anxious about it, feeling like you can't sleep, insomnia, like your finger's stuck in a light socket forever and you're just like zapped out. So if you start to feel that, I wanted to explain it. This is part of the reason why. All right, so big changes coming, big hellos, big goodbyes, big new opportunities. Some things can manifest that you've been wanting forever, can just be there like, wow, they're here finally. And there are some things you might have to say goodbye to that are bittersweet, that either you wanted them to go, but it's still kind of sad, or that you didn't want them to go and it's not welcome. So there's definitely going to be a lot of jostling around of finances and your money and other people's money and, other things, which we'll talk more about in the upcoming months. But that energy and news about how it will manifest might start making itself known in March. By the way, I did want to remind you that when you launch a business, if you get your corporation, you do something that's official, that's a birth date for that venture, which is part of why I get so focused on letting you know when these open periods are, because would you want to have a birth date for a long-term venture in a transit that goes backwards and inwards and lends itself to short-term energy? Because that imprint is going to go with it the entire way of its it runs its course. So it's just more fuel to the fire of understanding these things beforehand, which is also why I get them to you really early so that you understand what's coming, because that could change how you make your plans and what you do now. Okay, so another really great, important must know is that we still have a lot of energy crowded in the 12th house. Okay, the 12th house, including Jupiter's influence, is going to be there for a little while longer for you early degree people, for a while longer for you April born. And the 12th house, and also, of course, in the weeks before your birthday, so happy birthday to those of you who are going to have your birthdays. This time of the year brings a lot of energy to your subconscious mind, the deep recess of your mind, your psychology, the cosmic soup where everything's all mixed together and everything springs from that. So sometimes people get a little bit heavy, feeling heavy or whacked out, or have trouble sleeping, or, just get anxious, and any problems that you've had that are not resolved could come up. Addictions or, stinking thinking. Definitely perspectives that could not be serving you. But what this is an amazing time for, and what Jupiter and all of these other placements are trying to help you do, is to seize those latent opportunities and convert them with alchemical fuel into something great. So let's say you've got a seed of positivity or hope or about something. You feed that seed in your mind and it becomes a new perspective, a new way of thinking. If you have something that's keeping you down, like self-esteem issues, things that happened to you in the past, things that people told you that may have stuck with you, or just general fears or ways that you're limiting yourself or you're letting others limit you, these type of things have more of a chance to be elucidated and overcome at this time. So it's a wonderful time for expanding your intuition. It's an amazing time for tuning into the lesser seen realms. I am so excited to be a part of the wave that is helping everyone to know that these lesser seen worlds, what some people might label as woo-woo or metaphysical, are scientifically sound, and that the deeper you go into science, you roll right into spirituality, and that there really is no difference. And science is starting to catch up with things that spiritual principles have been telling for a long time. Like, for instance, the heart field is actually stronger than the brain field. And if you check out the Heart Math Institute, you can see that this is actually true. You can measure the field around the heart, which is, the feeling, the intuition, rather than the brain and the logic, and the field of usage of creation is more strong from your heart field. That's why my manifesting conscious manifestors out there or someone who would like to become one, that's why we always say and know that we want to feel something as if it's come true already to help us manifest, because visualizing is great. Thinking things are great. Working with the brain, important. But working with the heart field is more powerful, and there is a communication. There are communication lines between these fields. So the more you can feel something into reality, the more you're going to create the things that you want, and the more important it is for you to stay in tune with how you're feeling and heal on a deep level things that you're feeling that are difficult patterns. And for Aries, a lot of this is aggravation, frustration, annoyance. And it makes me laugh to think of my astrology teacher. She's an Aries and she has a bunch of planets in Aries. And when she and I became friends, and I would do healing work for her and help take her headaches away, because Aries tend to get a lot of headaches. And she was teaching me astrology, and she's like, girl, you're going to be an astrologer. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. And she's like, but you're still going to be an astrologer. And she would always say, girl, I'm aggravated. And that was like her thing. I would come and see her. I'm like, how you doing? And she's like, I'm aggravated. I'm like, right, of course. Okay. So, and I have come to see now, like, she was right. Okay. I am an astrologer. I was going to become one. It was always my destiny. 20 years of doing this, that there is a relationship between the liver and the gallbladder, which in Chinese medicine relate to anger and resentment. So the gallbladder is like resentment energy and the liver is like anger energy. And so your feeling of anger might be coming from an overburdened liver. And that might not come up in your normal blood test because they're not looking for those things. Your gallbladder also might be making you aggravated. So literally, if your gallbladder is not happy, you might have the feeling that you're agitated and annoyed more frequently. And if you get support there, Chinese medicine is amazing for that. There are herbs that, a Chinese doctor or Oriental medicine doctor give you, and acupuncture and things like that can help to free these channels where and if you want to specifically focus on that, but stuff like this is amazing for this time because it's healing the core issues that have been limiting you. Imagine how much happier you'd be if you weren't aggravated if you were less aggravated. You could still get things done. You could still be initiating and be the leader and be the one that sparks things and that gets things going and initiates, but you can do it with less aggro and more, inspiration. So that's a lot of stuff going on. So we've got a lot of strong Aquarius energy as well. Mars is recently there. Venus is getting there. And then, of course, we just had the sun there, so that's not there anymore. But Saturn is there. And this is beautiful for Aries because it makes that 60-degree angle, the ingredients on a counter where you've got lots of opportunities. And the opportunities are mostly coming from friends, friendships, social networking, internet-based projects, community, your area, like people that you know, online groups, people who you consider your tribe. Look out for opportunities coming from these people. If someone offers you something or invites you to something, feel into saying yes. Trust your intuition on it. Maybe it's not right for you, but a lot of opportunities might come, and the more you actualize them, the better. Because remember, an opportunity is worth nothing if you don't do something with it. And this time will be so full of opportunities, but might feel like things are fizzling out if you don't activate and lock some of it in. And there couldn't be better timing for activating and locking something in, like we talked about, right? Because we're in this open period of time where the opportunities are coming and the clarity is likely coming for what to do with them and which opportunities to take, and the energy is in place for you to actually do something with them. Okay, so the next big must-know is that we do, besides having the sun in Aries, we are going to have the new moon in Aries. That's the kickoff party for the astrological new year. That's going to be March 31st or April 1st, depending on your time zone. And having a new moon in your sign is a very exciting time. It's extra special. It has extra oomph for seed planting, literal seed planting, like your garden, but any kind of seed planting. Like if there's something new that you want to hey, I'm interested in this, or I want to go further in this, or, anything that you want to plant. This is an amazing time. And all of the Aries placements can get kisses from this. So nobody's being left out, but there are some of us that are going to have extra yay from this. between 6 and 16 degrees, the closer to 11 degrees, the more of a positive chance for a kiss. And that would be, so basically, we'll say like March 26th or so through like April 5th or 6th. And the closer to April 1st or 2nd, the more this will directly hit you, and hopefully that will be amazing. Now also know that there is some energy of this being a black moon, because in some time zones, this is the second new moon in this month. And a second new moon in a month or a sign is a black moon, and it has extra power. So that's exciting. Okay, so now let's come to our final big must know before we get into the 8 top transits. And this is so exciting. We're going to talk about Jupiter getting into Aries. Now, it doesn't actually happen till May, but we have to talk about it now because it is booking through Pisces. Because of the way the retrograde was in Jupiter last year, it got into Pisces at the end of December, and it's flying through Pisces, the whole sign, by May. All right? So that means that very early in the time it was in Pisces, it started also influencing Aries, because Jupiter has a 12-year orbit. It's a big behemoth, and it's really, it's far out, and it has a long orbit, and so its influence has a wide orb. So we don't just start feeling Jupiter in Aries on May 10th when Jupiter goes in Aries. We start feeling it sooner, and because of the nature of how the transit's been, we can feel it a lot sooner. You might have been feeling it already. A sensitive person might notice things in January, February, and certainly by March, it will be raring to go. So while it will still be enhancing all the things we talked about for a while longer in your 12th house of intuition and your deep subconscious mind and mastering your mind, it's also starting to have this big burst out, and this whole big 12-year cycle where everything gets to be expanded in your life. And so you'll feel this happening now. And it's also important to know this now, because if you're starting to get inklings of what you might want to do with this or how it's manifesting, you might not want to wait until May 10th when it's happening, because that is going to be back into a retrograde, right? So if you know about this, which now you know because I'm telling you, in March and April, you'll be able to utilize any of the good, juicy, fresh, new energy, new relationships, new ways of being within your relationship, new ways of defining yourself, seeing yourself, calling yourself, your physical body, changing your relationship with your physical body, your recognition. Aries loves to be recognized for the things that we do, right? Because we work so hard, and if someone says, hey, you're a hard worker, I love to hear that. If anyone posts, and I have a lot of people post, Annie, you're the hardest worker astrologer on YouTube. I see that post so often, and I love to be acknowledged for that, right? Because I do. I bust my butt, and I'm sure you do too. We work very, very hard, and a lot of things will start to shine and glow, especially in this 12-year cycle. And you can think back to 12-ish years ago, when it was in the cycle last time. What happened? I know what happened for me. My husband came in, and that was a huge change in my life. We've been together for all this time, and that was amazing. That's a very common thing that happens. Also, a lot of things happened with my work in a very big way. A lot of things happened on a lot of different levels, and in my spiritual development, and with my health, and with all kinds of things when I think back to those years. And you will find, and I will find, and we will find that a lot of that is going on now. This is a time for, initiating, and for new starts, and for being a leader, instigating. And this is something that I talk about with Aries friends a lot, okay? Sometimes Aries energy is a little rough around the edges for reasons, as I told you before, a little aggro, a little pissed off at people, a little mad because of things that happened when we were younger and people didn't use their authority in the right way, and now we're stronger and we're kicking ass, right? And a lot of that can be fine, but maybe you'll have a realization, or you've had it already, like I had in my 20s when I was always instigating bar fights and causing ruckuses pretty much wherever I went in some way or another, because things would just happen, for better or worse. But when I started realizing that, I asked myself, and I heard Spirit asking me, Annie, is this what you want to do with that spark that you have? You have a spark. Aries placements, you've got it. And it manifests in many different ways. What do you want to do with that? What do you want to ignite in your life, in the world, in other people? And now you've got an amazing chance to redefine what that looks like, to do it in ways that you feel even more passionate about, that has more fuel, and in ways that are more fully supported, and share your passion with the world. So it's really, really exciting. So those are the big must-knows. Now let's talk about my 8 top transits to know for this month. Okay, so in March 2022, we do have more sweet aspects than salty ones, and we do have this beautiful open period where it's a great time to make big decisions, and things that are very monumental might come to you, but it's also a time where you can conjure and plan and take big steps. And this is really important because we only have one more such period this year, because once Mars retrograde shadow starts to take over in September, we're going to spend the rest of the year in a shadow period. Okay, so this period between around March 3rd and April 27th is a very action-oriented time. So keep that in mind. But we're going to go through some notable aspects. Now, if you'd like to have a more complete list of the aspect, the date, what you can expect from them delivered into your inbox 1 month early, definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter, where you will get exactly that report delivered to your inbox 1 month early. But we're just going to touch on a couple of these here for March 2022. All right, so the first thing we have here is one of these Saturn aspects. Now remember, Saturn aspects, like everything in astrology, like everything in life, can have a dual aspect, but because it's a conjunction, these can kind of go either way. It's not a sweet aspect or a salty aspect per se, it's one that could go either way. And Saturn can bring harshness, but Saturn can bring accomplishment. Okay, so we've got Mercury, which at this point is here, but it's going to, well, actually you can see they're together. See, they're the same. So right here at the beginning of the month, Mercury and Saturn are together. Okay. Now, the second thing is March 3rd, and this is a big deal. This is when Venus and Mars and Pluto, so Venus, Mars, Pluto combination, will all be together. And that's pretty intense. We know Pluto rules birth, death, transformation, rebirth. Sometimes the death is literal, sometimes it's figurative, but there's definitely transformation afoot. And we've got the, male and female energies, our action, our just money, love, how we use our energy. Everything is all coming together, and that can be for better or worse. So major transformation is afoot. This is an amazing launch time for business collaborations, things like that. And also a time to be cautious. When these energies get together, particularly Mars and Pluto, people who might be on edge already can blow up in not a good way. So there's blowing up in a good way, like, wow, something goes viral, or there's like tempers flare, anger issues. So if you are in a situation where you don't feel safe in your circumstances, this is definitely a time to be in a safe place, because volatility will run high, and you definitely need to know about that. So that's intense for better or worse. But in the sign of Capricorn here, we've definitely got a lot of business potential, financial potential, all coming together in the love, money, work, that kind of thing. Then March 5th, we have the Sun and Jupiter getting together. These will come to be at the same degree. And this again is one that could be for better or worse. The challenging side of this can bring some confusion, some disillusion, some, betrayal, breaches to security, things like that. On the plus side, it can be highly creative and highly spiritually transformational. Then we have this beautiful full moon at 27 degrees of Virgo. So anyone who's close to 27 degrees of an earth or water sign will get special kisses from that. We'll say between 22 and 29 degrees of an earth or water sign. And plus there are 2 great aspects. So that means not just those people who I just mentioned will get extra kisses. Everyone in the zodiac, every position can get extra kisses, because this full moon is blessed with 2 amazing aspects at the same time. Then we've got a little bump here, and let's see, so Venus is going to come, this Venus here is going to square Uranus, and a square is a challenging aspect. So money, love can get a little Uranus surprise. Usually that's an uncomfortable surprise, but I have seen situations where that's brought in like a crazy love situation in a good way. I've seen where something could come in and be jostling at first, but it could actually be positive, but expect surprises in love and money at that time. And then we've got the astrological new year, right? Astrological new year always feels more like a new year to me than January 1st. But we've got this beautiful time, and this is a great time for vision boards. Vision boards are where you either virtually or on paper, like cut out magazine or other things, affirmations, pictures of essences that you want to bring for the year. The universe is especially receptive to your intentions and your wishes and your, what you're working on at this time. Plus, we've got an extra boost with Mercury making a conjunction with the great benefic Jupiter. So that's very, very, very expansive, and that will be worked into our whole astrological new year from March 20th to around March, of 2022 until that time in 2023. So this is a really big boost, big time for planting seeds, wonderful time for launches, making big decisions, things like that. We are also going to have the influence on March 22nd of Mars square Uranus. Okay, so we know that Venus came and did this. Mars and Venus are traveling closely together at this time. And then Mars will square Uranus. And that one is a little bit similar to this Mars and Pluto, where you kind of got to watch this one. It could be a little more dangerous accidents, jolts in not a good way. You have to be more careful. Don't do extra weight at the gym on this day. Don't, not be present when you're lifting weights or when you're driving or walking on a ladder. If there's some kind of dangerous activity, I would avoid it at this time if you can. And then, people can also behave unexpectedly. So just kind of watch yourself, tune into your intuition. It's a good day to really just keep the distractions low so you can use your psychic feelers to navigate around any potential issues. Then we end off with this really nice new moon in Aries. Kickoff of this is basically the New Year's astrological new year kickoff party. So we have the new year on the 21st time, but then this is like the big party where the energies are really strong. And this is another great time for a vision board, setting intentions, brainstorming. And this is also, in general, March is a fantastic time for making plans for the future, for moves, any kind of commitments, contracts, buying new, big things, selling things, remodels, anything, engagements, weddings. All of that is really great in March and really has a lot of strong energy through the end of April for all of that positive momentum. Okay, so if you want more dates and what you might see from them, then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for the free email newsletter. They're right on the front page, and you'll get a welcome letter that will have an archive link that will get you access to anything that I've sent, and you can go deeper into what may be coming in March. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that, and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumelife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.